right? So that's what a computer network is all about, right? And this is how it works. Router router is a network device that actually helps you to route traffic over the internet, right? Over the network, basically. That's what a router will help you do, right? So we have different type of router. Router basic function is to route traffic, like taking your data, your traffic through the fastest route. That's where we got the name router from. Through the fastest links to the destination, right? So it makes your communication faster because you are taking the fastest route to where you are going. That's basically what router does, right? But before modern routers comes in, we have the internet modem, right? We have the internet modems that actually carried your data over to the internet. That actually links you up to the internet. But modern router actually comes with that capability. So you don't really need a separate modems with your router, basically. So this router has that capability, right? Can route your traffic to the internet. And you know that when you get to the internet, traffic is also coming back from the internet. So you need a firewall here, right? You have a firewall here. What this firewall does is to filter network traffic, right? You can control who have access to your service or the likes. And then you have your switch, network switch actually controls the ports that your devices are connected to, right? Probably you have organizations where you have different workstations connected to your network, right? So they have to get connected to the switch. Then the switch here will be connected to the router, right? Automatically, if you are connected to the switch, with the aid of this router, you'll be able to go through to the internet. Basically, if you're setting up a small office network, this is what you should be having. You should be having a router so that you can be able to connect to the internet, and should be having a firewall for security reasons to, filters internet inflows to traffic, to prevent traffic into your network, right? You need a firewall, and then you need a switch, right, where all your devices can be connected to, right? And this is your server connected to the switch, and this is basically what a simple network looks like. This connection is wired, right? This connection is wired. They actually connect to the switch. There's another device here that probably we are not seeing, right? We can call it patch panel. The patch panel will actually have different ports, so many ports, so that because switch has limited ports, maybe you can connect to, like, let's say 10 computers. But what happens when you have more than 10 computers in your organizations, maybe 40 or 50? You bring in a patch panel. Patch panel will extend these ports, right? So that many other computers will connect to it, basically. So if you don't want a wired connection, if you don't want a wired connection and you need a wireless connection, you can install a wireless access point device here, so that people can now access your network wirelessly, right? Via Wi-Fi and the likes, right? So this is how a simple network looks like. And as you see, the network you just saw, they are connected in some kind, right? They are connected via a wire, right? And a port in the switch, right? So intelligent switch actually knows which port is which port, can identify ports. So when you send your data to a particular port, switch can actually identify which particular port you are sending to. But patch panel doesn't know which port you are trying to access, right? So there are switch will help you configure a virtual LAN. We call it virtual LAN. That is creating a logical port for you. So the physical port are the physical ports we just mentioned in your patch panels or in your switch, where you have your connector, you have your cable you put in your port, and each single computer is connected to a particular port and all that. But there are also logical ports, like your computer today, because it's not connected, it's not wired to a particular network. You use a logical port to actually connect to other computer, and that can come with a form of your IP address and the like, right? So that any computer that want to connect to your computer use that logical port, IP address and the like, right? So that's the two type of ports we have. And network security. We have talked about computer network and how computer communicate with each other. And then because we tend to send data over the computer network, then comes challenges. Because we do more transaction now over the internet and do more communications now over the internet, and then come with the issues of people using it to target your business, your communications, or you in person, right? So network security comes in. You have to protect that communications. You have to protect that links, connections, basically. So network security comes in. That is the protections of the underlying network infrastructure from unauthorized access, misuse, or theft. It involves creating a secure infrastructure for device, application users, and an application to network in a secure manner. You ensure that the data you are trying to send to the other end is not going to be intercepted with the wrong person. It's not going to land in the wrong person, in the wrong hand, right? And the device you are going to use to perform these connections, you have a way to secure. You ensure that they are secure as well, right? What type of network security do we have? We have your firewall, you have intrusion prevention systems, we have VPN, we have access control. Let me talk a little bit about them, right? Like your firewall, just to filter traffic, inflow traffic, right? Not to protect your that is, you'll be able to, it helps you to filter who have connections to your network, basically, right? And then intrusion prevention system will help you detect anomalous traffic in your network, right? Like there are a normal traffic network. Sorry about that. So the intrusion prevention system understands how a normal network traffic flows, right? So if you see anything otherwise, it will automatically be triggered and prevent it. Probably will be an attack. So VPN on the other hand will help you create a secure tunnel between two computers. It's over internet, over an insecure, because you don't trust a particular network you are connected to. You create your own tunnel so that the communications between you and the other end computers will be over a separate a tunnel-like, right? So nobody will be able to like intercept data exchange between these two computers. Then you have access control. Access control basically will like leaks the type of IP address network you want to have access to, right? You control as you use it to control who have access, which IP address have access to your network or the like. So that's basically what these tools does. Then a network security, if you want to set up a standard network security for your organizations, you know that from the internet, you have your firewall to protect your network from outside network, right? And then you also have firewall from on the both ends to protect your firewall. In your router, you have your intrusion detection systems or whichever protection mechanism that you want to set up. So you have them plugged in into your router. If it goes through here, it will still come here into your, if a bad actor get through the firewall and get into your router, your other intrusion detection systems or your let's say your antivirus, yes, antivirus or kind of a thing, anti-malware, right? You install on your router can actually detect it, and basically this is what you use to protect your network. And then here comes network threats. A network threat is anything that can potentially harm a computer network, right? Anything, any actions you take that can harm a computer network is what we refer to as threats. And it can be intentional, where somebody intentionally wants to attack your network or your system, right? And it also can be unintentional, where your hardware fails, right? And threat can also be internal. It can be somebody within your employer or somebody from outside. Maybe you do something to your staffs and it's not like it's not like feeling okay with you, right? It can plant an attack because he has credentials to understand your network. It can disrupt some things or steal information or disrupt your network, right? Or it can be external, where somebody is somewhere planning to attack your network over the internet. Type of network attack or cybersecurity attacks. We have spear phishing, we have man in the middle attack, we have denial of service attacks, we have SQL injections, we have DNS attacks, ransomware, we have advanced persistent threat, zero-day exploits, couple of others like phishing, many of them, right? Then network attack is a deliberate attack. We've looked at threat, right? And then attack itself. Attacks is a deliberate one. We've talked about threats to be either deliberate or intentional or unintentional. But attack is actually deliberate. Somebody wants to look into the vulnerability in your system and then exploit them, right? It can be to aim or steal data or disrupt your operation or causing damage to your system. And attackers can use a variety of methods to gain access to a network, such as social engineering, malware, and zero-day attacks. So they use different means to actually get access into your network. these are various types of cyber security attack we have, right? The denial of service attack, we have cross-site scripting, we have spyware and keyloggers, we have brute force attacks. So this attack, malware attacks, and so many of them, like you just mentioned, probably let me quickly talk about a few of them, right? Like this cross-site scripting, basically what it does, it's majorly targeting a web applications, right? Web applications where somebody wants to access your website, and then with cross-site scripting, it will reroute that person to a different website, right? It's your website he wants to access, but cross-site scripting will make it reroute to different website entirely. Then denial of service attacks is actually attackers flooding your network with high traffic to the extent that you yourself you no longer have access to your service, basically your operations, your network. That's what that one will do. We have phishing attack. Phishing attack is basically part of social engineering, where an attacker create a malicious links and cajole you into trusting it. When you click it, it takes you to the malicious side. The malicious side looks like it's just like a replication of original of a trusted brand. Let's say your bank, for instance, and somebody clone your bank, use the clone of the bank website as a platform to exploit maybe your credentials or to steal your information, basically, and make you think that it is the original site. Basically, that's what that one is all about. Then virus, virus can come in various forms. It replicates itself and then recreates a particular script that can overwhelm your systems, that can encrypt your system or your file, right? Delete your file and disrupt your internet or your network or your operations generally. Malware is actually a malicious script. A malicious script can come in various forms. Some malicious script can come in a way that wants to send data from your applications to external. Is malicious, right? So you may not know the intentions of whatever the script will do whenever it landed in your it can be anything. It can do anything. It can steal your information. It can disrupt your files. It can delete your file, encrypt your file, and do anything, as the name implies. We have a brute force attack. Brute force attacks is mostly somebody trying to try random passwords, right? Random password to get access into your system. Spyware and keylogger. This keylogger used to be popular. I don't know about, even in recent times, they still use it, right? Somebody getting access into your system and then listening to your keystroke, right? So whatever you punch into your keyboard is actually monitoring it from a remote locations. Basically, that forms of attack. So when you enter a password, the person probably will know what to use for the password and what you do with and can actually remotely controls maybe your cameras or something. So there are so many of them. So identifying threat and tools used to prevent them. Why there is no single step you can take to protect against all attack. There are some basic steps you can take that helps to protect against many types of attacks, right? And here are some of them. If a system doesn't need a service or protocol, it should not be running, right? If your system, if a particular service in your network is doing nothing, if it's not doing anything, if it's not helping you in any way, remove them. Don't let it run, basically, right? Attackers cannot exploit a vulnerability in a service or protocol that isn't running on a system. So if that protocol is not running, if the service is not running or the protocol is not running, there is no way any attackers can exploit it, right? So firewall can prevent many different types of attack. Network-based firewall protect entire network, and host-based firewall protect individual systems. So network firewalls can protect your entire system or entire network, right? And the host base, each of the hosts connected to the network can also have their firewall, right? So you ensure that you have this thing in place to prevent an attack. These are the major tools organizations use to detect and defense their network and their services, right? We have this RSA Net Witness platform, right? It's actually an intrusion prevention and intrusion detection platform, right? All you need to do is just to sign up to them. SolarWinds Threat Monitors, it monitors your threat, and then McAfee Enterprise Security Managers manage the whole security architectures of your organizations, and Cisco StigWatch, IBM Graters, and all these ones are all services available for you to use to protect your network and services. So protecting yourself from network threat and attack. There are a number of things you can do to protect yourself from network threat and attack. Number one, use strong passwords and change them regularly. Be careful about the link you click on an email and text messages. Keep your software up to date, including your operating system, web browser, and security software. Use a firewall to protect your computer from unauthorized access. Back up your data regularly, right? These are the steps you need to take to actually remain safe. Creating an insider threat program, right? So this is for organization. If you want to see how alert your employee are, you need to simulate this attack, right? To see how prepared they are and how secure. That's how you see some organizations will hire a penetration tester. So the penetration tester will just try to launch attack on the system to see how secure, how hard is their system, right? Train employees. You have to train them, because if they are not safe, you are not safe. Maintain compliance. There are bodies that actually set policies, right? There are standards that you can maintain in your organization to stay up to date with to stay compliant with security policies, right? Build a cyber incident response team. Build a team that can actually respond to anything related to cyber attacks and all that. So ensure that your site is secure with HTTPS, right? Because that is a secure protocol to deliver web data, right? Data over the internet, right? Initiate phishing simulation. Yes, simulate phishing simulation. You can simulate phishing, just as I mentioned, with creating inside threat programs, where you have to do a simulation of these things to see how your employee react to them. Back up your data. Yes, very important. Back up your data and update your system and software regularly. Thank you very much. Any question? All right. If there's no question, I have question for you. So, number one, which of the following is not a type of network security threat? A, malware. 2, phishing. C, firewall. D, denial of service attack.
Phishing.
Who say phishing?
Daniel.
Daniel. Any other person?
Firewall.
Yes, firewall is correct. All right. What is the primary goal of a ransom attack? A, to steal sensitive data, to disrupt network service, to encrypt file and demand a ransom.
Encrypt files and demand a ransom.
That's correct. Which of the following is a common social engineering tactics used in cyber attack? Brute forcing, phishing, SQL injection, and denial of service. That's correct. A firewall is primarily used to do what? Prevent unauthorized access to a network, detect malware infection, encrypt data transmission.
Prevent unauthorized access to a network.
All right. That's correct. So if you don't have any questions for me, it means that we've come to the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Mr. Samuel, thank you for and also the wonderful presentation as well as the questions. Thank you everyone for joining today's so quickly, for those of us that are yet to be added to that are yet to be added to the KT channel. Let me see the persons around. Toby, please, are you available? All right, so Toby is not here, and Amira, are you here? Hello, Amira, please, are you here? Okay, so Amira is also not available. Antonia, are you here? All right, as well as Christiana. Christiana is also not here. Okay, no problem. So those are the persons I actually wanted to reach out to. So much of your presentation date. Just like Mr. Samuel, he had already prepared his slides. So just telling him that he's getting to know that he's supposed to present today. It wasn't so much of a struggle. So what you can do is just quickly check the schedule, take note of the dates. It will be seamless for you. Do have a productive day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.